Hi, my name is Sally. I'm a survivor of breast implant illness. God has put it on my heart to share my journey and the information that God provided me to pull me out of breast implant illness. God continues to draw women to me that are taking tons of supplements following their explant surgeries, and 99% of those supplements are extremely problematic. And the reason why is because of our genetics. So for me personally, I have something called MTHFR and other genetic mutations or variations. And my cells can't effectively detox poison out of me. So my body, when I was being poisoned by my breast implants continually for years, my body turned stuff that I ate into yeast. It attracted the poison coming from the breast implants. It placed that poison in that yeast and placed that yeast in my digestive tract, and I removed it via bowel movements. What happened was finally I became clogged up. My digestive tract got clogged with this highly toxic yeast and candida, and it ate holes through the side of my digestive tract walls, causing leaky gut. So after my explant surgery, I was left to deal with this highly toxic systemic candida infection and leaky gut. It's almost as if we still have our implants in us, because the toxins that were being gel bled from the implants continuously it was in that toxic yeast, so you're just loaded with it. I have to believe that most, if not all, breast implant illness women are dealing with this systemic candida infection, and the issue is that it's so toxic. So a regular person that wasn't poisoned by implants for many years, they may have a systemic candida infection, but that infection that they have is not filled with poisons from implants. So here we're dealing with trying to eradicate this extremely toxic, poisonous candida infection that we have. And for me, it had seeped through my digestive tract walls, and I was loaded with it all over my body. So I worked with naturopaths, doctors, you name it, I worked with them, and they continued to tell me to take things like apple cider vinegar, oil of oregano, garlic, probiotics, digestive enzymes, all sorts of things to push this candida out of me. And in theory, that is correct. That was correct. They're trying to help me push this toxic yeast out quicker. But again, it's highly toxic, and I have this genetic variance that my cells can't handle the toxic overload. So here I was kicking this candida out, and as it's being kicked out of you, it's breaking this candida up. And when it breaks that candida up to try to eradicate it via bowel movements, the toxins and poison in that yeast, in that candida, get shuffled around. Then it's the job of your cells to go and grab these toxins that have gotten loose from that yeast while it's trying to be eradicated. But if you've got genetic variants like me, your cells can't even do that job. So you're basically causing yourself a toxic overload. The most effective and safest way to eradicate this highly toxic systemic candida infection is extremely strict diet, and also bone broth. I drink bone broth 3 to 5 times per day. This alone will begin to heal your digestive tract lining, and that's really vital, because you want to get this leaky gut under control. So by drinking this bone broth, some women drink collagen, either or, you just want to keep it coming into your system, because it's going to heal your leaky gut, and it's going to at least keep all the toxic yeast in there so that it's no longer seeping outside of you. So the women that God is continuing to draw to me are taking tons of supplements. The same supplements I just mentioned, they're taking those and they're getting extremely ill. And they're not healing from their explant, and that is because they're causing themselves a continual toxic overload. They're also taking tons of B vitamins, and they're all the wrong B vitamins. Your vitamins should be based upon your genetics if you're going to push vitamins. Personally, I think the world is deceiving everyone into thinking we need all of these supplements. We don't need all of these supplements. We should be grabbing our nutrition from our food. I agree occasionally you need some extra vitamin C if it's flu season or something. But typically speaking, we should be able to gather most of our nutrition from our foods. Eat organic, gluten-free, no sugars. That'll kick the candida out in a very safe way if you have the same genetic variations I have. So when these women come to me and they're taking all of these anti-candida medicines and apple cider vinegar and supplements, things like that, and pushing this toxic overload, I recommend the same thing I did that healed me, and I stopped taking all of that stuff. Just stopping that stuff makes a world of difference. You'll immediately feel the relief in your body. But the problem, again, is now you've got this toxic overload going on, and if you've got genetic variations like me, your cells can't grab them. So those toxins then just find a new place to live inside of you. So as you're taking all of these supplements and medicines to push this candida out, you're causing yourself more problems because the toxic overload, those toxins aren't getting out of you. You might be getting some of the yeast out of you, but the toxic overload is out of control, and it's just finding more spaces like your joints, your muscle tissue, for those toxins to settle back into. So you still need to get them out. So that's why the strict diet works best. Zeolite is another, I didn't pull that one out, I should have. But if you see my other videos, you'll hear me talk about zeolite. That's a huge game changer, and that will attract these toxins that are left in you. It'll attract those, put it in your digestive tract, and you'll eradicate the toxins via bowel movements that way, and or with coffee enemas. But since I recommend other women to stop taking all of these crazy supplements, I did want to make a quick video just to say I do take some supplements, but I don't take all of them every day. I try to get most of my nutrition from food. I will take some vitamin C, liposomal vitamin C, if I feel a little bit of a cold coming on. And I might make another video that shows the other supplements that I do like, that I take on a here and there basis. But these are things I take every day almost. Let's see, I think I take these every single day. So this is the Organic Grass-Fed Bone Broth. I still drink this 2 or 3 times a day. Once you've had leaky gut, you never want it again. So I will probably always drink this stuff. This is a powder form. I get all of my supplements on Amazon. I'm not affiliated in any way, shape, or form to any of them. But any kind of organic, grass-fed bone broth, we're trying to stay away from toxins. So just as healthy as you can find, that's what you want to get. And that'll help heal your leaky gut. Plus, it'll also make your nails strong, your hair, your skin good. It's all around. I have found it very beneficial. Another supplement, I do not take this one every day, but just about every day, I take this vitamin D3. I'm low on D3. You know, you can have your doctor check, but for me, I'm low on it, and it's helpful. NAC, this is another biggie for me. So I tried taking things like liposomal, glutathione, several glutathiones, and I was taking the top-rated brands, and boy, I felt horrible on them. There's a big key right there. If something's making you feel bad, then don't take it. It's not doing you any good. We need to pay real close attention to how we feel as we try these supplements. Add them in one at a time slowly so that you recognize how you're feeling as you're adding these supplements in, because truly these women that are taking, I look back and I think, wow, I was trying to take B12 and methyl B vitamins and I felt horrible. So I would be feeling fine without taking any supplements. Then I would start adding supplements in that were recommended to me by doctors. And I would start feeling bad, and I would mention it to the doctors, and they would say that it was not correlated to that supplement. Well, yeah, it was. It just took me a long time to figure it out. So I take this NAC because I could not take glutathione. It made me feel horrible. All forms of gluta, I had a bad reaction to. So I found this NAC, and what this is it's the precursor to glutathione. So this NAC is what our cells need to make its own glutathione. Huge game changer for me. I have energy on it. It's literally like I can feel my cells detoxing and working correctly when I take this. It comes with a little scoop. I take half a scoop mid-morning, and I take another half a scoop mixed in warm water. I just shoot it back in mid-afternoon, late afternoon. So I take this twice a day, but I just take half a scoop. So I'm taking a full dose, a half a dose twice a day. Krebs Magnesium-Potassium. I take this at bedtime. I take 2 capsules. I love it. It seemed to help me sleep better. I like it a lot. And I don't know if this is standard for all women suffering breast implant illness, but I suspect it is. The implants completely jacked up my hormones. I mean, completely jacked up my hormones. So I was taking 2 thyroid prescriptions and wanted to get off all prescriptions, which hooray, I have done. But I found these 2. I was having night sweats, hot flashes. I mean, my thyroid was messed up. Basically, these feed my body what it needs to function correctly. So that's my whole goal now following my explant surgery. That's when I finally began truly healing, was sticking to the strict diet, doing the coffee enemas, taking the zeolite 2 to 3 times a day to get that toxic overload under control. Once I got my toxic overload under control is when I began adding things like NAC, magnesium, my vitamin D. I kicked my prescription thyroid medications to the side, and I began feeding my thyroid this One Body Thyroid Support supplement. And this, I don't even know how you say that, but that's what it is. This is like in place of like a progesterone. And these changed my life. I didn't even realize how jacked up my hormones were until I began taking these. And I felt like I could conquer the world. It was insane how wonderful I felt. My mood, my energy, even more brain fog lifted, which I don't deal with much of anymore since I got my toxic overload under control with the zeolite. But these 2 right here, wow, huge, huge for me. And matcha tea. This stuff is fabulous. If you've never heard of this or tried it, I highly recommend it. I take it, I make myself a matcha latte, usually in the morning. I don't drink coffee, or I try not to anyways. So I mix like a teaspoon of this in a little bit of hot water. I stir it real quick so that I get all the lumps out and I get it mixed up pretty well. I add a little bit of light agave to it, stir it real well. And then I add in unsweetened cashew vanilla milk or unsweetened vanilla almond milk. One of those is what I add in. I stir it and I drink it. I think it's delicious. And it definitely gives me a sustainable energy that lasts throughout the day. I hope that this information is somehow helpful to you. God bless.